Welcome to the final episode of the second season of the Self-Obsessed podcast. Guys, it's that time again. It's the season finale. And as we did with season 1 of the podcast, the 10th and final episode will be the 10 laws of self-obsession. We've covered so many amazing topics in this season, from learning how to stop chasing and start attracting to loneliness and self-growth and self-trust. We've even sat down with really incredible guests for the first time ever, and this is also going to continue in season 3. I can honestly say I've learned so much from my experience with interviewing these guests, and I hope you guys have too. But now it's time for you all to take everything you've learned this season and apply it to your own life. I want to come back next season and see some major progress and growth from all of you. And for that reason, we are ending this season once again with the 10 laws of being self-obsessed, just to go over the topics we've learned so far, to refresh your memory and to really ingrain all of these lessons within you while giving you practical steps so that you can become the best version of yourself before season 3 even launches. And just a quick note, I will be back to record season 3 in July, but you can keep up with the actual announcement and launch date on the Self-Obsessed podcast Instagram page, where we share all of our updates as well as daily inspo and motivational content. Before we get into it, be sure to check out my personal Instagram as well. The pre-order link to my self-love book that's coming out in literally a few months now is available to pre-order on Amazon, along with both of my YouTube channels and also my Facebook page. I have a Facebook page with a group called Self-Obsessed Society where everyone is talking to each other right now and making friends with each other. I love it. But for now, let's get into it. Law 1. Stop chasing and start attracting. We already know the energy of chasing can be very damaging because it kills your confidence, and we're trying to be the best version of ourselves, okay? So confidence is like at the core of that. Chasing comes from a place of desperation and attachment. And when you actively chase your dreams or chase another person, you are coming from a place of desperation. And you're basically telling the universe that you don't think you're going to be able to get that on your own, and you're not deserving of just attracting it into your life. And also, you're unsure of yourself and your abilities. When you are not relaxed about your goals and desires, and instead you are chasing, that means you feel the need to panic and stress, and you kind of have this mindset of like, I have to commit every single second of my life to pursuing this thing, and I can't afford to rest because what if I don't get it? It's that scarcity mindset. And at the end of the day, you receive what you believe, and chasing is an insecure belief. The key to becoming self-obsessed is that understanding the right things are always going to naturally align with you once you realize you're worthy of receiving it. And that links into self-confidence. When you chase things, you lower your vibration because you're focusing on fear, which is in the 5 lowest emotional states of consciousness. And this stops you from living life in the moment where, you could be experiencing gratitude, satisfaction, and happiness. Chasing creates a certain set of self-beliefs that can impact your confidence and what you think you're worthy of. So for example, let's say you're dating someone who is confident in their value, and you feel like, what if they don't like me back? How can I make them like me? How should I dress for the date? Or, how should I phrase this text message that I'm sending to them? That is a very niche example, by the way, of something I literally used to do when I felt insecure and I was dating at the same time. And because you're coming from this place of neediness and waiting for somebody else to validate you, that thing is never going to come to you effortlessly because you don't actually believe it will. So how do we fix this? At the end of the day, chasing is simply a mindset. And the way to change this is to instead embody the energy that you think you're going to have when you get the thing that you are so desperately trying to pursue. When you align yourself with the mindset of the person who already has those things, then you start attracting all those feelings, those positive feelings, and realize that whatever you want is already on its way to you. So then you adopt a more calm and secure approach about your goals, and then you have a heightened ability to be able to attract more things into your life because you're coming from a place of, I deserve this, I already think this way, I know this is coming to me, and I don't need to commit every single second of my life to mercilessly running after it. When you chase, you are so focused on the future and what you're missing right now, once again, scarcity mindset, that you'd miss out on the abundance that's right in front of you. And it's grasping that abundance that allows you to adopt the correct mindset. Because when you get the thing you're chasing, you're like, oh, I'll be so abundant in love, in life, in my goals, in finances. And so you need to bring that future feeling into your present. Law 2 is to live a healthy lifestyle so that you can become more confident in your body, just like we discussed in episode 2 with Carolina in this season. So while you're so busy criticizing yourself about your body type, about whether you ate good enough that day, there is someone out there trying to change their appearance to look like you. And I say this because insecurities and these standards of beauty have no validity whatsoever. What are they based on? Opinions and fashion trends that change all the damn time. So really, what's the point in trying to keep up with what the media or what other people are saying is the ideal body type to look good enough? Because while you look in the mirror and you hate your slim frame and you're trying to have more curves or not look so, quote, flat, there is another girl out there who is so desperately trying to slim down. Why? Because there are negative things that every single person is going to say about our body, because the media profits off of keeping us insecure. And the reason I say this is because while you hate something about your body, somebody else is trying to get that exact same quality. There is beauty in every single body type. And one thing that Carolina taught me as well with fixing body image and your confidence is that your relationship with food has a direct impact on how you feel and how you see yourself. The self-obsessed girlies stay prioritizing our health because it is directly linked to our self-growth, our mental health especially, and our confidence. One thing I've learned on my own food journey as well, I feel like this is so overlooked with how the food that you consume actually impacts your mindset. It plays a really large role in your hormones. So we have happy hormones like dopamine and serotonin, and by eating a whole food diet and staying away from processed foods as much as you can, you are basically hacking these happy hormones because you are giving your body the nutrients it needs. The more that you consume processed foods, you can literally Google this, or studies on how this will heighten cortisol within the body. But aside from this, eating good and eating healthily and nourishing your body and eating 3 full meals a day and snacking in between if that's what you wish, and eating your fruits and vegetables is so important because it grows that stronger relationship to yourself. At the end of the day, you are still your younger self. And if you reparent yourself in this way, where you wake up every single day and you make sure you eat food for every single meal and that you're taken care of and that you're not having girl dinners, you're actually fully nourishing your body, you are putting in the time and effort to make these nourishing and delicious home-cooked meals for yourself. That is an act of self-care and self-love that you are putting towards yourself. Aside from this, there is so much to love about yourself, and you are only ever going to learn to see those things when you stop identifying with the negative image of your body. Because your purpose in life is so much more than what you look like on the outside, what your appearance is to others. You are more than your body. Your body is simply a vessel that has given you the blessing to be able to move and to be able to physically experience life. And I think exposure therapy is so important when it comes to accepting yourself, because a lot of the time we feel insecure about our bodies because we're not seeing our bodies for what they are. So let's say you're looking at your body in the mirror when you put an outfit on. You're not seeing it for what it is. You are thinking of all of the images as to what it should be. So let's say you put on a bodycon dress and you're like, oh my God, my belly's sticking out a little bit. It should be flat. It should be this. My butt should be bigger. My arms should be skinnier. Why are my thighs so skinny? Blah, 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 blah. So you're never looking at what there is. And so how can you ever appreciate the body that you have been given when in your head, all you can see is the body you should be? And the body you have is always going to fall short in comparison because you're not even visually, mentally seeing a body that is yours. You are setting yourself up for failure and you are self-sabotaging by giving yourself new insecurities. And so one thing that me and Carolina learned was that the more that you stare at your naked body, the higher that your confidence can grow, because you can finally replace that image of what you should look like to accept where you are right now. And you can literally challenge yourself, on the first day before you get in the shower, stare at your naked body for a minute and a week later try and build it up to 5 minutes, 10 minutes, until you look in the mirror and you can start pointing out everything you appreciate about your body. And that does not just have to be physically. That can be, oh my God, these hands have created so many things. These legs have gotten me so many places. There is so much to be grateful about. Law 3, embrace your authenticity and do it right now. Because the self-obsessed girlies are trendsetters, not trend followers. And we know that being an it girl is a mindset shift more than it is about the clothes you wear or the way that you look. When you chase validation from outside sources and choose to change yourself to fit in with trends or whatever society deems acceptable, you're actually doing a disservice to your authentic self. You're basically saying that you're afraid to stand out and be yourself because it doesn't fit in with what everyone else is doing. Just think about that for a second. And to me, that is a form of self-hate. Individuality is all about falling in love with the fact that you don't fit in, and there is no better way to become more self-obsessed than truly loving all sides of you, even if people think it's different or they don't like it. You guys know I love when I am disliked because it is living proof that I am being authentic. If every single person likes you, it means that you are pleasing other people and you are fitting into the box that they have made of you in their head to keep themselves more comfortable, because you're not out here doing big things and expressing yourself in an authentic way. Because at the end of the day, being authentic is going to trigger other people. Sometimes it will trigger them positively by taking inspiration or liking the way that you channel your energy, and it will encourage them to do it in their own way, or it will trigger people negatively, which is what causes people to dislike you. And so, in my opinion, that's actually a really good thing, and it's proof that you're doing something right. The more self-obsessed you become, the more you will want to find out about yourself. So what do you like? What are your hobbies? What do you enjoy doing the most? All of these questions will prompt you to dig deeper to find out what you personally like instead of what everyone else is telling you to like. Living in your authenticity is such a powerful thing, not only for your self-obsessed journey, but for others too, because it will give people the confidence to actually be themselves just from you being yourself around them. On top of that, it will attract the right company and circle into your life. And I can vouch for this because it's exactly how I got my current friendship group, who are so aligned to me and help me feel so fulfilled in this life. When I was so focused on being the easygoing, nice girl, and honestly, I was also just unaware of who I was, I kept getting myself into the wrong situations with the wrong people. Law 4, change your perception of being alone. Because there is going to be so many moments on your self-growth journey and your journey to becoming your best self where you may experience solitude and being alone for a certain period of time, where you feel like, you're making a shift or a transition to the next phase or the next era of your life. Maybe you're going to cut things out, people out, or move away to another mindset or situation. And changing the way you view being alone is very crucial at this stage. A lot of people think that being alone means you're lonely, but that is so far from the truth. Loneliness is simply the absence of yourself. Solitude is the same thing, you're still alone, but it's simply, the mindset is just simply shifted, it's switched. Solitude is when you are grateful for the process of being alone. Loneliness is when you are so far detached and disconnected from yourself that you cannot even appreciate those core important moments of being alone. Loneliness is when you place all of your happiness and fulfillment onto others, and solitude is when you give your happiness and fulfillment back to yourself. So for example, if you're lonely, you're going to wait for someone to take you out. You're going to complain all the time about not having a partner. You are going to miss out on the most amazing experiences because you're scared to do them alone. What are people going to think? What if people judge me? What if I look like a loner in public? But when you embrace your solitude, you will make those experiences happen for yourself because you know you deserve them. It's an act of self-love to go out there and experience life right now. You will take yourself on solo dates. You will buy yourself the damn flowers. Hello, book reference. You will travel and you will do all the things you've wanted to do. This is exactly how you pour the love that you would want from another person back into yourself. The key to becoming self-obsessed is making sure you dedicate time to invest in yourself and to maintain the relationship you have with yourself. Being able to spend time on your own and actually be able to enjoy your company is a privilege that not many people get to experience, because we grow up and we are taught the complete opposite, to wait to make the right friends, to make sure that you have a partner. And we're never taught how to spend time alone, to the point that so many of us think it's wrong to sit in a restaurant alone. But you get to switch that mindset when you use exposure therapy to go and eat out on your own and not care who might be looking at you. And the more times you do it, the further confidence you will build with it. You can go to the cinema, you can create memories for yourself in any way that means something to yourself. You know, you can like do a sip and paint at home. But something that I really like to do as well is to invest in myself in other ways. So you guys know I am the solo dating queen. I take myself literally everywhere. I even just took myself to New York the other week by myself. But a lot of just my day-to-day regular life, I am spending time alone, and I am investing in my knowledge and in my skills. So I read self-development books literally all the time. One of my New Year's resolutions for 2024 was to learn a new language. And so I started taking Lingoda language classes back in December, and I've been doing it ever since. Like, I was so consistent with it in January, February especially. And this podcast episode has actually been brought to you by Lingoda. For those of you who don't know, Lingoda is actually an online language school for busy people who are serious about learning a new language, and Lingoda provides the ultimate flexibility with the way that their website is laid out. So you can take a class at any time, literally 24/7, and then learn at a pace that suits you. And this was so good for me. I never thought that I would even have the time to learn a new language, and I've always wanted to learn French. I already dabbled in it previously, but I really needed to refresh my knowledge on it. So like, I was out here taking classes at 10-11 p.m. at night, which was amazing. I've been attending Lingoda's small group classes for around 6 months now, and because these lessons never have more than 5 students, I feel like I actually get a lot of opportunities to speak French in every single class. And this focus on speaking, along with the personal feedback you get from your professional teacher, is what has allowed me to make such fast progress towards my goal of learning French. The curriculum is also designed for you by Lingoda's language experts to help you guide you towards your goals. And this is what I really liked, because I learned French in school, but it was a very slow process. I actually struggled for a long time, but I love the way the classes are split in the curriculum, and you can basically start from any place you like, whatever suits you, in whatever order you like. And you don't just need to learn French, you can learn English, business English, German, Spanish, and all from the comfort of your own home. Lingoda actually offers a 7-day free trial, during which any student can try 3 group or one-on-one classes. So I highly recommend that you guys just try it out and see if you like it. If you are interested in starting or continuing your language learning journey, then don't miss out on their free trial. And you can also get 20% off your first month of using Lingoda when you use my code TAM. That's TAM. You can visit the link in the description underneath this podcast episode, and the link is try.lingoda.com/tamcore for 20% off. So I highly encourage you guys to try it and really invest that time and energy and effort back into yourself to level up, because imagine being that baddie, self-obsessed girl who says, yeah, I can speak multiple languages while balancing all of the other stuff that's going on in my life, because I am my first priority, and I'm going to make sure that I can get as much knowledge and as much experience out of this life as I possibly can, because personally, that's my goal and my mindset when it comes to this. The 5th law of self-obsession is, of course, to practice manifestation, which I've spoken about for so long on my YouTube. It's so important. It's changed my life in so many ways. And we also discussed it in detail in this season with our special guest, Roxy Nafusi. Manifestation is my favorite thing. You need to start using the power of your mind to be able to change who you currently are. We hold so much power within ourselves without actually needing to do anything physically. Manifestation is one of the most important self-development practices, because at its core, it's actually all about self-worth, self-perception, and self-love. I also have in-depth individual episodes on how to master all of those things, along with videos on my YouTube channel. You manifest what you believe you're worthy of having. Manifestation is about understanding that you are worthy of everything you aspire to have, from happiness to love to success, whatever you like. When I look back at my life, I realized that I wouldn't have the life I have right now if I didn't manifest and actually envision it. Because I used to be a victim of self-doubt big time. And you can see self-doubt as manifestation's biggest enemy. And I struggled with it so much that I would actually sometimes just cry because I was so overwhelmed with where I wanted to go, and I was so plagued by this negative belief system that I wouldn't be able to get there and my dreams were too big, until I consciously decided to change it. So I made a vision board and I would stare at it for 2 minutes every single morning. At nighttime when I fell asleep, I would visualize all of those goals coming to life and me actually being in those scenarios, seeing it out and achieving them. Anytime I found myself doubting myself or having like negative speech patterns such as, what if I can't do this? What if it doesn't work out? I would immediately switch it. And on top of this, my favorite tip to really help you get self-obsessed and master manifestation on this journey is that thinking and envisioning the life you want, yes, it is helpful, but the best, most efficient step to this is that you actually have to align yourself to the life you aspire to have. What do I mean by this? So a really niche example is, as a content creator, I'm always taking pictures, taking videos of myself, etc. And a lot of the time I have to do that in public, especially on my vlog YouTube channel where I show you guys how I, spend my life. I'm walking in the streets and I'm videoing, or I'll be sitting in a restaurant alone on a solo date, which already might be a little bit awkward. And then I'm like getting out a little tripod and a camera and putting on a table when there are people sat on tables next to me and they fully stare, like fully. If you watch some of my vlogs, you can see like story times of times that people have pointed at me and laughed or said something, or just you can see people staring at me basically. And when I started out with this, I felt very self-conscious and very uncomfortable and like I was taking up too much space. My body was literally having this fight or flight response where I just wanted to put the camera out immediately because it was just too nerve-wracking and I didn't like being stared at. And then I realized, where do I want to go? I want to get to 1 million subscribers, which by the way, I literally just achieved the other week. I used to think I want to grow my YouTube channel. I want to be a huge content creator. I want hundreds of thousands of views. And these are all of my other goals of where I need to get to. Let's say I was there right now. How would I be filming in public? How would I feel about it? How confident would I be? Would I care what anybody else has to say about it? No, because it's my career and I'm successful at it. And I would act like I already had the 1 million subscribers because that in itself is validating, right? And I thought, if I want to get to where I want to get to, that version of myself wouldn't even have a second thought about what anybody else has to think. She would be so immersed in her craft and making sure that the video came out so perfect that she didn't have to worry about anything else. And so I started aligning myself to that version of myself, the person who was so assured in their successes and had achieved everything she wanted that it got rid of all of those nerves in that present moment before I achieved any of those other things. Law 6 is about becoming comfortable with feeling lost. This step is all about learning how to reprogram the way you view uncertainty and getting comfortable with the feeling of being lost, because this is actually a crucial step in your journey, guys. It's literally the step that you need to cross to get to success. There's no avoiding it. There is a lot of pressure in society today to have it all figured out, especially in your 20s. And the truth is, none of us actually have it figured all out, okay? We're all just trying things. Sometimes it sticks, sometimes it doesn't. And everyone has a different timeline in which some people find the solution quicker and other people find it a little bit later. Both scenarios are completely fine. This law is so important because on your journey to becoming self-obsessed, there will be so many moments where you are going to have to stop and figure out what you have to do next. Or you would have just tried something and it's completely failed and now you don't know what to do. And you may have seasons in your life where things aren't going how you envisioned they would. And you find yourself comparing yourself to who you thought you would be at a certain stage. And because of this, it's so important to get yourself out of the mindset of comparison. Not only when you consistently compare yourself to others, which literally makes no sense because they have different life paths and different goals and different mindsets and were born into different circumstances. So you are never going to get anything good from comparing yourself to other people. But also, I feel like where we really fall into the trap of feeling lost and like failures is thinking, oh, well, I'm 26, so I should be here now. Or I'm 22, so I should have done this by now. And it's like, when did you even come up with these standards for your life? When you were a child? A couple of years ago, when you weren't even in this environment or situation yet, when you hadn't even stepped out to experience the world yet, you were comparing yourself with ideas that version of yourself made up. And that is incredibly unfair. You are out here doing the damn thing, experiencing life for the first time, might I add, and trying your best every single day. And so really, you should only ever be comparing yourself to how you did yesterday. Feeling lost and uncertain is such a powerful moment where you finally discover so much about yourself, and it's also the moment that you start a new chapter or new version of yourself. Because when you're lost, you are finally falling away from these unrealistic expectations that you set on yourself when you were younger. And now you're like, well, that didn't work. Or that doesn't align to me anymore, so now I don't know what the hell to do. But that's good. You need to lean into the what the hell do I need to do, because that means now you're actually staying present and you're making new decisions and thinking in different ways to what you thought you should have always done or what your parents tried to make you think that you should do. When you're lost, you have all of this power to start afresh, and you're about to surprise yourself in what you are able to achieve. When you reframe your mindset to view being lost as a positive thing, you open yourself up to so many new creative ways of achieving the life you want to live. You need, as Gemma said in our podcast together, you need to stop trying to imagine what your life looks like down to every detail. And instead, you need to imagine what you want your life to feel like on an average Monday afternoon in 30 years' time. You don't need to worry about what house is it going to be and what wedding is it going to be and how big is my bank account going to be. While they are all good questions, okay, but they take time to figure out and they take time to work towards. If you just tap into the what makes me happy when I wake up in the morning? What is my favorite ritual when I go to bed? What are a few things I need to have every single week to make sure that my mental health is at its best? For example, I need to see my friends twice a week. I need to go on a solo date once a morning or once a week. I need to try new food. I need to make time for art, whatever it is that means something to you, that contributes to your happiness. Law 7 is to use adversity to your advantage, because your challenges that you experience in life can help you become a better person. Changing your perception of adversity and hardship is one of the most important steps, in my opinion, to becoming more self-obsessed. Because I have gained so much peace in whatever happens in my life, because I know it's all a part of the plot. Nothing is happening to me. It's always happening for me. One of the biggest lessons I've learned so far this year is when you are working to create your dream life and manifesting your goals, you won't magically get what you want. You will instead get the journey that will turn you into the type of person you want to become. You don't get, let's say you're trying to manifest £1 million. You're not going to get £1 million that falls into your lap the next week. But the universe gives you the journey, the steps, the experiences, the wins, and the failures that will turn you into the type of person that can become a millionaire. And just that in itself really helps you reframe what adversities actually mean, because growing up, and so many of us do this, like bad things happen and you think, oh my God, life is unfair, or I worked so hard for this, why did I not get it? I was manifesting this for so long, why is nothing happening to me? It is happening for you. You just can't see it yet. That friend got taken away, that breakup happened, you got rejected from that thing. It is redirecting you to what you wish you can get. But you're just not going to get it in the way you think you're going to get it. And this is why I always believe in trusting the process. And when adversities come into my life, I know they're always going to do me a favor. They always give me a glow up. They always make me smarter, hotter, even richer. So I welcome them. I am such a big believer in seeing all of my blessings in my adversities. Whenever you go through bad things in life, you need to stop asking yourself, why is this happening to me? And instead ask yourself, what can I learn from this? And what can I take from this? These are the questions that are going to help you step away from a scarcity mindset in your life and feel so unlucky. And instead, it will help you so much on your self-growth journey. By asking yourself these things, you're actively shifting your mindset and you're building resilience and wisdom so that you can defeat similar situations that may happen again in the future, which helps you become stronger and smarter in leveling the F up. Everything given to you, good or bad, unfair or fair, was needed and required to help you reach your final destination, being your goals and your dream life. Law 8, you need to change your relationship with money, just like I discussed in depth with Simran Kaur on episode 8 of season 2 of the Self-Obsessed podcast. Self-Obsessed girlies are all about becoming financially wiser and smarter with our money, which is why changing your relationship with money is such a game changer on this journey. There are so many trends out there about being a soft life girly, princess treatment, finding a rich man, him solving all of your problems, and there is good in those ideas, some good, just like there are in a lot of trends, but they are not the answers to life. I feel as though these trends are setting us back because there is something so powerful about achieving your goals and achieving financial freedom as a woman, because it gives you the freedom to pursue your goals and dreams and the man that you actually want, with emotional intelligence and all the qualities you wish for, without having to worry about relying on others for financial stability. I have spent years learning to improve my financial literacy, and one woman who continues to inspire me on this journey is Simran herself. And after speaking to her, I learned that a lot of the beliefs and narratives we have around money can be inherited. So if you grew up with parents who felt like they never had enough money, that life was really unfair, that they were just dealt a bad card, that money is something to be afraid of, you are going to grow up with the same mindset, even if your circumstances are different. And so it's important to let go of the false narratives we've been told when it comes to money, to instead consciously build a money mindset that benefits us and allows us to attract more money into our life. Going from a poor girl's mindset to a rich girl mindset is all about changing your mindset from scarcity to abundance. Thinking you're going to reach your financial goals by simply cutting back on expenses, saving a little bit extra every single month is not going to give you financial abundance. But actively improving your financial literacy by reading, learning, and investing will get you there. Examples of these, if you live in the UK, is using an ISA, investing in your pension. Using budgeting apps are great to be able to see where your money is going, and they're not focused so much on saving such a large part of it, although saving is important, but redirecting a lot of it into other investments. Maybe you want to be an angel investor, maybe you want to invest in art or the stock market like I do. Law 9 is all about taking your self-love to the next level. When you deeply love yourself, it shows in every single thing you do. And this self-love allows us to step outside of our comfort zones, take risks, and pursue our dreams with confidence. Loving yourself is not just about regular self-care, solo dates, and going to Pilates. And I think social media has made it seem as though it is, and that it's super cute and like this aesthetic trend, but it's actually so much deeper than that. And it can be difficult and filled with obstacles. And that makes it even more worth your while, because that's where growth happens, when you're uncomfortable. So a really good example of taking your self-love to the next level is, you go on solo dates because it helps with your independence and detaching from male validation, and it builds your confidence. We love that, it's so important. But why do we fear being judged in the first place when we're on these solo dates? How can we fix that limiting belief system? Why are we placing other people's validation over our own? Why is this triggering us, this experience of sitting alone in public? Those are just examples of questions you can ask yourself in that situation to allow space for some self-discovery, to level up into the next version of yourself, because you are getting rid of these negative beliefs that are holding you back. Another example is, you had a bubble bath last night and you did your self-care, cute. Maybe let's spend the next morning, since we've already done that, doing some shadow work and discovering our shadow self. Our shadow self is a part of ourself that we are not fully aware of and we cannot fully see, because it contains all of these triggers and all of these parts that we have been taught to be ashamed of and we struggle to accept, so we hide it away. And because we're not fully aware of this, if we see these parts of ourselves in other people and other things, it will cause us to have a large reaction or be triggered. So let's say that you see someone videoing themselves in public and you don't like it, and you're like, oh my God, that's so cringe, why are they doing that? That's actually showing you a part of yourself that needs to be healed. And that's a really good depiction of self-love. Being like, why is this triggering me? Why is this bothering me? Oh, maybe this is a part of my shadow self who doesn't feel comfortable enough to put myself in that environment, which is why I am being triggered by somebody else doing it so openly and expressively. Aside from this, one of the other major lessons I've learned on my journey of self-love is the importance of choosing my inner peace over the need to be right. And once again, this is a reflection of the lessons I've learned on my self-love journey without the need of having to be aesthetic 24/7 or having to be perfect 24/7. Self-love isn't I'm so perfect and I'm so amazing. Self-love is I love and accept myself as I'm growing. I give myself grace and compassion through all of my difficult moments, but I am working to grow through my obstacles and through my toxic traits so that I can become the best version of myself, so that not only can I live a happier, more peaceful life, but I can get rid of self-sabotage and attract better opportunities and better people into my life. And finally, law 10. The final step for this podcast, and I want to end it on a really wholesome overall note that is also going to be actionable. And so law 10 to becoming self-obsessed is simply reflection. To give yourself celebration every single day, if you'd like. We are constantly, as the self-obsessed girlies, trying to level up into our best selves, trying to achieve our goals, and it's so wonderful. And you should take so much pride that you have so much ambition in your life. However, that has to be balanced with reflection on how far you've come. And this is so funny because this literally happened to me on my morning walk that I took literally today. I caught myself smiling as I was walking because I had this flashback of my high school days. Not sure why, it was just super random. And I started smiling because I realized, whoa, I have come so far. I can't believe that used to be my life. I can't believe I used to speak like that, stand like that, carry myself like that, associate myself with those situations. And now look at me. I'm not perfect. I'm not completely where I want to be in life. I still have such a long way to go. But it is so worth smiling over how far I've come, not only from several years ago when I was in school, but even who I was this time last year. I've already done so many things this year that last year me couldn't say that she had the courage to do. And it's little things like that that contribute to your confidence, which is such a core pillar of becoming self-obsessed, along with your growth journey. Because when you start reflecting on, whoa, I woke up earlier today than I did yesterday, just that, like that recognition of how far you're coming and how much you're growing gives you motivation to keep going because you're getting rewards from it. But if you have a negative self-talk and if you think, oh my God, like you're still not waking up at 6 a.m., you only woke up at 8, then self-growth becomes almost like a punishment and this really hard thing which is so out of your reach. If you flip your self-talk to, you're not quite where you want to be, but you're still doing way better than you used to. This is still a really long way from who you used to be. You're still doing great with the resources and the capacity that you have today with everything else going on in your life. That's as simple as it is. And that wraps us up for the final episode of season 2. Thank you so much for being here. If you're still listening, you are a real one. Please DM me. Let me know what you enjoyed about this season. That's really what I want to know. Because while I'm going on a break for a few weeks before we come back on season 3, your girl is not resting, okay? Work literally starts from next week to start getting guests lined up for season 3, to start getting topics out, to start planning out all the episodes, and to start looking through all of your comments and all of your messages you've sent me on DM to see what you want in or out of the podcast. Your feedback literally means the most to me. I create this content for you guys and to provide as much value as I can. So your feedback is always really, really important. So I would love if you could send a message. And in the meantime, if you still want to get your self-help and self-love fix to become self-obsessed, be sure to check out the Self-Obsessed podcast Instagram. We are still going to be posting on there motivational quotes and things to just inspire you and set you off on the right foot every single day. And also, I will still be posting exclusive self-help content on my main YouTube channel every single Friday. So you are never without the advice you need to live as your best self. Thank you so much, guys. I can't wait to see you back here for season 3, episode 1 in July. I appreciate you.